So it's that time again, where the community shares their top 5 top 10 mangas of the year. One of the best things about being in this community, in my opinion. I have started YouTube just recently, but when I first started thinking about creating content, this video was always on my mind. Not just to give my opinions, but to get yours too. So without wasting any time, starting with honorable mentions. First is Blue Period, a manga about art with one of the more unique protagonists I have seen in some time. Concept of self-centeredness is amazingly explored, and it's only some 50-60 chapters, and I am halfway done with it. That should tell you how good it is. Second is Kingdom. This one needs no explanation. Those of you who are familiar with it know already, but for those who don't know, one of the most hype pieces of media you will ever encounter. Warfare has never been done better. Third is Aohashi, one of the more unique sports mangas I have read in a while. I mean, it does have the same protagonist trope who doesn't know how to play at the start, who is the weakest, but everything else is different. It doesn't have a rivalry like Sakuragi Rukawa or Hinata Kageyama in Slam Dunk or Haikyuu. It's different on every single level. If you need one more hint, the protagonist doesn't join an underdog high school team, but the best team in Japan. Fourth is Ravages of Time. It's not a manga, but a manhwa. This is a story that's hard to keep up with because of the Chinese names that you have to remember, and the plot lines. There are many plot lines that you have to remember. I didn't get anything in the first arc, honestly, but you get used to it as time goes, and it has one of the greatest conclusions to a character I have seen recently. So definitely check it out. And I haven't completed this one either, and that's why it's not in my top 5. Now starting with my top 5 of 2023, number 5 is One Piece, my favorite manga, but I have been reading it weekly this past year. The recent stuff in the manga has been amazing on all levels, but not enough to be higher, which just goes to show just how much I enjoyed the other 4 mangas that are about One Piece. Fourth is Slam Dunk. I read this after I read Vagabond and Real, so my first reaction to reading the first chapter of Slam Dunk was this.
Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
It's still widely considered the greatest sports manga of all time, and that's deserving. It's really inspiring. Third one is Real by Takehiko Inoue. Maybe a hot take, but this manga by Inoue might have equal or more potential than his magnum opus, Vagabond. The 3 main characters are amazingly well written, with one of them being in my top 7 characters of all time. Second is Haikyuu. In my opinion, I consider this to be the greatest sports manga of all time, and not Slam Dunk. But I will say this, do me a favor and don't read it before you read Slam Dunk. You will appreciate both of these stories way more than you probably would if you read Haikyuu first. And now the best manga I read in 2023. I mean, with the thumbnail, it shouldn't be a surprise. It's Vagabond. I have started Vinland Saga recently, and I know I haven't finished that yet, but I don't see Thorfinn or Vinland Saga as a whole touching Musashi or Vagabond. In any case, Musashi is one of my top 3 manga characters of all time. Vagabond deserves all of the hype it gets, and I hope Inoue comes back from his hiatus on this and finishes this amazing piece of media. Honestly, manga can't get better than this. But a small piece of advice, as I mentioned in this video, I read Slam Dunk after I read Vagabond and Real. I would recommend you to do the same. That way you don't take Slam Dunk just as a sports manga when you start it. You take it as a work that has been done by the author of Vagabond and Real, and you understand what made Takehiko Inoue, one of the greatest mangakas of all time. It's honestly surreal, but when you read the first chapter, you just can't believe this is the same guy that made those 2 amazing masterpieces in terms of the art that's been drawn and the characters that he's written. But if you have already read Slam Dunk before reading Vagabond or Real, it doesn't matter. Inoue is still an amazing mangaka, so it's not really a problem, but it's best to experience Vagabond and Real first and then Slam Dunk. So that was my top 5 manga of the year and honorable mentions. Mention yours in the comments below. Honestly, these videos are amazing to watch and has been amazing to make this one for me. Just the community sharing great experiences that they had this past year with each other. Well, that's all for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope you have an amazing year in your media endeavors or just life. in general. I hope this new year is successful for you. Thank you.